What is up, SmackNPie? We are back again with another video. Today we're going to dive deep into Bad Rabbit's video breakdown and analysis. I did my reaction yesterday and you can check that out. However, today we're getting a bit serious and going to dive deep into what we got, because trust me, whatever we got, it's insane. Right after my reaction, I received a notification. As you all know, me and Vince are good friends. We follow each other on Twitter, so that automatically makes us friends, right? That's how friendship works. But now, official Dark Deception Twitter account followed me back as well. So just if you're watching this from DD team, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and most specifically to you guys, the SmackNPie. But enough roaming around, let's begin. So we're going to divide this into two parts. The first one, of course, is everything related to Lucky the Rabbit, since it's his rap after all, it's his video, this is his domain. And the second part will discuss more about the overall state of the situations, such as locations, shards, cameras, lasers, all of that good stuff. Anyways, Lucky the Rabbit's whole Bad Rabbit's timeline has been leading up quite well, starting off with Lucky's punchlines on Twitter, Winston Living's the executive director of Dark Deception explaining details in his live streams about Lucky the Rabbit mostly. Then out of nowhere we get this teaser on Instagram that just starts a new conversation over what Lucky represents in the game, and most importantly, the story. I can't believe people are still debating whether Lucky's height is 7 or 6. By the way, he's still tall. However, the teaser's height is not canon. How do we know that? Well, in the original teaser from the Instagram, he's around 7'2", actually more than that, which was already insane. So thank goodness that wasn't a thing. Then later, when Dark Deception announced that they're partnering with Rocket Gaming YouTubers that make rap songs about indie games specifically, and that it's an official audio because they brought Lucky's original voice actor in for this one, Chris, we get this thumbnail. Clearly in here, he's touching 6'6" maximum. That would be 6'7" or 6'8" if you want to stretch. So that's already confusing if it was canon, so we gotta throw these out of the window now. Let's focus on the new video. Bad Rabbit with a Bad Habit is a statement that Lucky will now be known for the rest of the time. Originally, when I saw this, theories were made by me that it may have something to do with Doug Hauser, either his fear of getting caught for every bad thing he's done, or something he called shots for that ended up getting caught, or just getting arrested for the murder of his family, or getting arrested for pushing his family to death, in a way. But the more I look into it, it may not be that. I mean, sure, these portals, monsters, locations, powers, all of that represents Doug's family, all of that good stuff, right? Everything around him. But in this particular case, I believe Lucky is Doug Hauser's mirror. Now hold on. Whoa, what? Yeah, listen. You know how the motto of he's constantly into this shizzle, or he can't leave his addiction, that was actually referenced in the music video, or most famously, he can't leave his bad habits. That was not a pun. That's literally a motto. That's where I'm landing with Lucky specifically. See, the fact of the matter is, no matter how sorry he feels for his family for what has happened to them, he wasn't all that of a good man either. With or without his family, the way he treated them was after the fact of his behavior, greed, arrogance, being a disgraced attorney that he was. Now, why all of this important to Bad Rabbit? Well, simple. Because Lucky the Rabbit, the leader of Joy Joy Gang, is the leader because of a reason. He's smart, he's intelligent, he's known to use smart tactics against his enemies, something Vince constantly talks about. That's why both Hangry, nobody likes you Hangry, get off, and Penny, underrated, you already know, follows his lead, because these two wants destruction and food only, but Lucky wants more than that. He wants to see and feel Doug's pain and agony, sacrifice, not because, oh, I feel bad for you, but I enjoy that kind of effect, because, you know, Lucky is sadistic after all. So that's number one. Number two, Lucky will use this against Doug Hauser to tire him emotionally. One thing Malik and all of his goons learned pretty fairly in all 3 previous chapters, that Doug Hauser is no joke when it comes to physical interactions. He knows what's up. You've seen him body those Goliath clowns and Doom Ducky in the sewers and in Circus. However, when it comes to emotionality, there is some guilt left in him, Doug Hauser, that Malik wants to target and exploit. Starting with Lucky, he'll use Doug's own bad habits against him, remind him of all the time he's done horrible stuff and got away with it. Now will pay for his actions in here. Or if he got caught, Lucky will double down even more and will still suffer here in the level. Now Doug needs to get it together emotionally. He has powers, but does he have emotional strength to overcome Malik and Lucky's attacks? Well, that's up to Doug Hauser now. Something finally players have no control over. So that's how I see these two characters characters shifting personalities. This is a big chapter for Doug's personality development, his character development, and most importantly, finally giving these monsters more purpose, giving them more than just, yes, Malak, we will always obey you. Now let's talk about Lucky's character in the game, because that was all story and lore stuff. Let's talk about that good stuff gameplay, specifically how Lucky will play out. So over the course of 3 minutes in Bad Rabbit, we learn a lot, and I mean a lot, about what we need to keep an eye on from Lucky. First things first, from the get-go, the editor shifts our attentions to Lucky's eyes. The red glow, the laser-ish eyes, is something that many overlook because no one actually has much info on how that would work or play out in the gameplay. That is important, but worry not, we got some answers, so keep this point in mind because it'll be important later on. Now I'm just gonna skip all level details because I really want to double down on Lucky specifically. Watch out for part 2 tomorrow. Also, you may have noticed that most of the video are in black and white. They are disoriented, they go back and forth. Yeah, sure, some of it has saturations cranked up to max, but most of it seems like black and white film or pictures that again you would find in police file records. So that's interesting how they connect to that. They didn't connect that. I'm making this up. The reason I'm making this up is because of Lucky's background from the teaser of getting caught every time, because he has this bad habit over and over again, the addict. That's why I connected that with the police. We did get a more cleaner look at level 7's portal. I really like the HD version of it. Now here comes the biggest part of the entire video. This frame in specific. What in the world are we looking at? At first my initial reaction would be, oh, they made this for the video, but then think again, why? I mean, it's not that hard to copy and paste Manny Lucky's model in one place and pan the camera around, but then again, the lyrics even mentioned that. Quote, I lead an army. Clearly, both Rocket Gaming and Mike, the person who edited the video, must have gotten notes from Vince about this specifically. This aligns perfectly with factory theories. This, which was a long time ago, which everyone, including myself, believed it to be Mama Bear's level at first, that aligned with this teaser of Lucky in the elevator. There has been so many Lucky teasers. That matches with the underground kitchen area, which real heat is, both literally and figuratively, because either zone 2 or 3 will happen here. Now that, connecting to theme park and having behind the scene mascot suits, you get this. So many Luckies out here. You may not see it at first, but one of them is actually looking directly at you. Ooh, that's creepy. Like, out of everyone, why him? Now if you zoom in a bit to the left, which we'll touch more in tomorrow's video, you can see it's still part of that factory, the same one we've seen in the other teasers, related to the theme park. Not some dreams or illusion. This is actually happening. This is actually a real part of the theme park that we'll see. I wonder if this has something to do with the ending of the self-destruct sequence. This also makes it confusing. Is there one leader for all of them? Is Lucky the Rabbit reproducing himself, pause on that, in a mascot way to gain that ego complex? I mean, we know that he has this ideology of being self-centered. I mean, it's literally in the lyrics about Lucky, but dang, that's one way to make your thinking literal. Then a few seconds later, not gonna touch on the gameplay element or area or daytime because it is really interesting and we need to separate that from here. The lyrics goes as something like this. Sure, I got clones doing my dirty work, half-arsed for what is worth, and most importantly, a circus with its deadly perks. The third line goes more with the theme park, however the first one explains why it's happening. Lucky is sadistic, egotistic, self-centered. Sure, but he has some work that he wants done, which makes me wonder if this connects with Beers all the way to the first level monkey business when Beers introduced us to the mechanics and the story of how the shards actually work in these nightmares. When Beers said that each shard is remaining remnant of, quote, one who has met their end here. Could it be that the reason Malak is so busy and barely shows up is because, like Beers and Doug, there are other rituals being performed actively in the Hollywood, in the same industry where Beers worked, other sacrifices being made, other dark souls ending up in here, and Malak is guiding these monsters, specifically Lucky, to clean up the mess, to gather those souls together, to gather those sacrifices for more dark and devil stuff. All these that entered through Beers or someone else just like Beers in Malak's domain or dominion, because remember, it is his world out of this ballroom. He is the devil, unlike Beers or Doug, which now actually explains why Malak has shown up twice at this time. All these other people who just ended, I'm sorry you died like that in this dark world, but you're trash. You're gonna end up and die like literally off the level. Get out of here. That was harsh. I'll stop. But seriously, that's why Malak is showing up now. We're taking us a bit seriously because he knows that Doug has a real purpose. He came with determination, and Beers, who wants the ring pieces, is using Doug to do her dirty work in this dirty world. We're talking some nasty stuff out here. And that is why Malak will get a bit more aggressive, because he's impressed by us. Physically, we out here. Emotionally, not so sure. So that opens up a whole lot different world of why these monsters are here. They survive by doing Malak's works, which also makes me wonder if these monsters were a real people, or at the very least, got close in defeating Malak, and now he trapped those souls in monsters. I know when said that these Lucky the Rabbit, Hangry the Pig, Penny the Chicken are not like FNAF. They don't possess souls or capture them, but is it possible that it connects some way to people like Doug that made it this far but then failed? These are his pets in a way, like he gives them work to survive and possess these powers. Hence these monsters, Lucky for example, has no other choice but to obey. However, Lucky is smart, so he creates all these clones to do the dirty work for Malak that he was supposed to do initially. And Penny the Chicken and Hangry the Pig, because they're not as smart as Lucky, they're continuing the work, hence they only care about death and destruction. And Lucky has time, because he's smart, his intelligence grows even more further. Ooh, this may be my tight theory yet, but boys, I gotta end this one here. It's already too long for me to edit. We'll cover the rest of the part because there's a lot to cover. Next part will strictly gonna focus on Bad Rabbit. This hype up, this background story was necessary for what's to come in part 2. But do let me know, what do you think of this? What do you make of all this? Lucky's personality, relationship with Malak, and what he's going to do here in chapter 4, not only with these monsters but us and with Beers. I'll make sure to read all your comments, so post your theories and replies down in those comments below. I repeated below twice, and comments as well. What is wrong with me? Stop it. Get some help.